Maroni,
like
jumbo shrimp.
Mm-hmm. Like
Like
fun
fun,
run.
ain't nothing fun about it. And it's not oxymoron for me to say third grade and drop out. That third grade dropout, the wisest person I ever met in my life, who taught me
to combine
about knowledge and
wisdom
wisdom to make an impact, was my father. A simple cook. A wisest man I ever met in my life.
A simple
Cook. A wisest man I ever met in my life. Just a simple cook. Left school in the third grade to help out on the family farm. But just because he left school doesn't mean his education stopped. Mark Twain once said I never allowed my schooling to get in the way of my education. My father taught himself how to read, taught himself how to write, decided in the midst of Jim Crowism. As America was breathing the last gasp of Civil War, my father decided he was going to stand and be a man, not a black man, not a brown man, not a white man, but a man. He literally challenged himself to be the best that he could all the days of his life. A third grade dropout that who was quoting Michelangelo, saying to us boys, I won't have a problem if you aim high and miss, but I'm gonna have a little issue if you aim low and hit. A country mother quoting Harry Ford, saying if you think you can or if you think you can't, you're right. You're right. I learned that from a third grade drop. Simple lessons. Lessons like this, son, you'd rather be an hour early than a minute late. Son, you'd rather be an hour early than a minute late. We never knew what time it was in my house because the clocks were always ahead. My mother said from nearly 30 years. My father left the house at 30:45 in the morning. One day she asked him, "Why, Daddy?" He said, "Maybe one of my boys will catch me in the act of an excellence. I want to share a few things with you." Aristotle said, "You are what you repeatedly do." Therefore, excellence ought to be a habit, not an act. Don't ever forget that. I know you're tough. I know you're seaworthy. But always remember to be kind. Always. Don't ever forget that. Never embarrass mama. Yeah. And mommy ain't happy. Ain't nobody happy. Daddy ain't happy. Don't nobody cares. But I'm going to tell you. Next lesson. Lesson from a cook over there in the galley. Son, make sure your service tower is bigger than your ego. Ego is the anesthesia that deadens the pain of stupidity. You might have a relative in mind you want to send that to. Let me say it again. Ego is the anesthesia that deadens the pain of stupidity. Pride is the burden of a foolish person. John Wooden coached basketball at UCLA for a living, but his calling was to impact people. And with all those national championships, guess what he was found doing in the middle of the week? Going into the cupboard, grabbing a broom, and sweeping his own gym floor. You want to make an impact? Find your broom. Every day of your life, you find your broom. You grow your influence that way. That way, you're attracting people so that you can impact people. Impact them. Final lesson. Son, if you're gonna do a job, do it right. I've always been told how average I can be. Always been criticized about being average. But I want to tell you something. I stand here before you, before all these people, not listening to those words, but telling myself every single day to shoot for the stars, to be the best that I can be. Good enough isn't good enough if it can be better, and better is good enough if it can be best. Let me close with a very personal story that I think will bring all these things to focus. Wisdom will come to you in the unlikeliest of sources, a lot of times through failure. When you hit rock bottom, remember this: while you're struggling, rock bottom can also be a great foundation on which to build and on which to grow. I'm not worried that you will be successful. I'm worried that you won't fail from time to time. Person that gets up off the canvas and keeps growing, that's the person that will continue to grow their influence. Back in the 70s, to help me make this point, let me introduce you to someone. I met the finest woman I'd ever met in my life. Back in my day, we have called her a brick house.
This woman was
the finest woman I've ever seen in my life. There was just a little problem. Back then, ladies didn't like big or linemen. The blind side hadn't come on yet. They like quarterbacks and running backs. We are at this dance. Trina Williams from Blanco, California. And we are dancing and we are just excited. And I decided in the middle of the dance with her that I asked her for her phone number. Trina was the first. Trina was the only one in college to get me a real telephone number. The next day we walked to Baskin Robbins ice cream parlor. My friends couldn't believe it. This has been 40 years ago, and my friends still can't believe it. We gone on a second date, and a third date,
and a fourth day.
and a fourth date. We drive from Chico to Barleo so that she can be my parent. My father missed her. My daddy, my hero, he missed her, pulls me to the side and says, "Is she psycho?" But anyway, we got together for 1 year, for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. By now, Trina is a senior in college. I'm still a freshman, but I'm working some things out. I'm so glad I'm graduating 4 times. Nixon, Ford, Carter, Reagan.
So now
it's time to
propose.
So I talked to her girlfriends, and it's California. It's in the 70s, so I have to be outside. I have to have a candle, and you have to have some chocolate. Listen, I'm from the hood. I had a bottle of Boone's Farm wine. This one, she said yes. That was the key. I married the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. You ever been to a wedding? Even before the wedding starts, you hear this. How in the world? And it was coming from my side of the family.
We get married
and have a few children. Our lives are great. One day, Trina finds a lump in her left breast. Breast cancer. 6 years after that diagnosis, me and my 2 little boys walked up to Mommy's casket. And for 2 years, my heart didn't beat. If it wasn't for my faith in God, I wouldn't be standing here today. If it wasn't for those 2 little boys, there would have been no reason for which to go on. I was completely lost. That was rock bottom. You know what sustained me? The wisdom of a 3rd grade dropout. The wisdom of a simple kid from California Maritime Academy. With that casket. I never seen my dad cry. But this time I seen my dad cry. But this time I saw my dad cry. That was his daughter. Trina was his daughter, not his daughter-in-law. And I'm right behind my father, about to see her for the last time on this earth. And my father shared changed my life right there at the casket. It'll be the last lesson he would ever teach
He
me.
said, "Son,
He said, son,
just stand.
just stand.
You keep
You
standing.
keep standing.
You
You keep standing no matter how rough the sea. You keep standing. And I'm not talking about just water. You keep standing. No matter what, you don't give up. I learned that lesson from a third grade dropout. And it's clearly as I'm talking to you today. These were some of her last words to me. She looked me in the eyes and she said, it doesn't matter to me any longer how long I live. What matters to me most is how I live. Yeah, I ask you one question. A question that I was asked all my life by a third grade dropout. How you're living? How you're living? Every day, ask yourself the question how you're living. Here's what I cook. In the dining center, we suggest you to live this way. That you not judge. That you show up early. That you be kind. That you make sure the thermostat is used and used. That if you're gonna do something, you do it the right way. That cook will tell you this, that it's never wrong to do the right thing. That how you do anything is how you do everything. And that way you will grow your influence to make it impact. And that way you will honor all those who invested in before you impact. And that way you will honor all those who have gone before you, who have invested in you. From teachers to grandparents to mom and dad. And when you combine that academic knowledge with that wisdom, oh my goodness, you will change the world. So that the class 2017, it is with great honor. I'll say all your lives, look in those unlikeliest places for wisdom. Enhance your life every day by seeking the wisdom and asking yourself every night, how am I living? May God richly bless you all. Thank you for having me again. Thank you for having me again. All these people not listening to those words, but telling myself every single day to shoot for the stars, to be the best that I can be. Good enough isn't good enough if it can be better, and better isn't good enough.
Let me close.
I'm really sleepy. This is what time is it now? This is 8 p.m. and Monday. Look at my past days. Monday is really difficult day during weekday, 일주일 중에 during 7 days. Because I don't know, my pattern is a little bit changed during weekend, and Monday is the first day of weekday, so weekend and weekday there are some little bit transform around my pattern, so it'll be a little bit hard day for me. I don't know. So I think about how to do less pressure or less tired my condition in Monday. I don't know. Anyway, I did English study again. I'm proud of myself. I did my best, and I wanna show one YouTube video, which is videoed by History Channel. Its name is 60 Days in Prison, maybe? Let me see. Where is History Channel? Oh, here it is. 60 days. 60 days in prison. The following program contains language, violence, and sexual content that may be distracting to some viewers. Wow, I like that. And especially about some kind of prison thing, I have more interested in that category. A little bit funny or 신기하다가 뭐지? Curious? Maybe that's because I never experienced. I just experienced by maybe YouTube or dramas or something. So it is interesting. Okay, I did my best. See you tomorrow. I will study again every day. Bye.